It is a new year, and many of us are thinking about what we want to do better in 2018. Hopefully your own spiritual development is on that list, and Dr. James Merritt is here to help us do that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you, Cheryl.
Now, you wrote this awesome book, 52 Weeks of the Psalms. Why did you choose the Psalms for people to study this year?
You know, the Psalms have always been a special part of my life, and first of all, it's God's hymn book. And one of the things that I love about our wonderful God is He loves music, because, you know, there's something very interesting. Very rarely do you find people that don't like music. Everybody likes some kind of music. You know, there may be different types. There are people like opera, people like country, people like rock, you know, and pop. But everybody likes some kind of music, and music has a message and a way of delivering a message, unlike just the ordinary spoken word. So the Psalms have already been a real fascination for me. When you remember that thousands of years ago, they weren't really taught as much as they were literally sung. This was the hymn book of the earliest congregations that followed the Lord. So it's always had a great fascination for me.
And you know, the Psalms are fascinating too, because it's not just written by one person. Who are the authors of the Psalms?
Yeah, you know, David wrote, of course, a good number. Solomon wrote some. Moses, as you know in the book, wrote one or two Psalms. A man by the name of Asaph wrote a great song. And then a lot of them are anonymous. And, you know, and I guess because there's a variety of authors, there's such a variety of themes. Psalms almost is riding with us in the spiritual roller coaster of life that we all go through, right? We are on the mountaintop, we're in the valley, we're up and we're down, we're encouraged, we're discouraged. And the Psalms it's almost like, in a way, it's like a doctor that walks beside you every day, and whatever you have to be going through, there's a song and a song for that particular situation.
I think they're fascinating because when people think about spiritual giants or people who are very spiritual, you don't have these moments where you say, God, kill all my enemies, slay them all, or I just want to die, I'm so far into despair. And then the next moment, it's like, but God, you're on the throne. What is the value of that authenticity that the Psalms really show?
Well, and I think that's what music does. You know, the best music of all is written from the heart. That's one of the reasons why, you know, for example, country music, and I do like some country music, but one of the reasons why country music especially is popular with a lot of people is because people are so transparent when they write country music. So many country songs are written out of real heartache by that person at the moment. They're going through a divorce, they just lost a loved one, they've had a financial setback. And so that's what the Psalms are. They are a transparent look into some of the greatest men who ever lived, like David. You see David when he's at his lowest. You see David when he's at his highest. And one of the things the Psalms help us to remember is even the great heroes of the Bible, Abraham, Moses, Jacob, Joseph, David, they were just like us. They went through the same stuff then that we go through now. And I think that's why there's such a magnetic attraction to this great book.
So if people commit to your book, to go through the Psalms over this next year, what do you think they're going to get out of it? What are they going to walk away with?
I think they're going to have a deeper appreciation of really who God is, because I think God has revealed Himself in His own music in a way that is very unique, even in, you know, through the entire Bible. The Psalms are almost like a kaleidoscope. You'll see God one way in one psalm, and then you'll see God in another way in another psalm, and then you'll be reminded of a virtue of God that you may have forgotten. Then you'll recollect, oh yeah, this is a promise of God that I forgot a long time ago. And so I think that when you go through the Psalms, not only is it music that will lift your heart, but it's also almost, to use an agricultural term, it's a fertilizer that will grow your soul.
That's so good. So how does the book work? How's it broken down?
Yeah, great question. Well, it's called 52 Weeks, you know, through the Psalms. And I've written 2 other books like that, 52 Weeks with Jesus, 52 Weeks through the Bible. And the way it's designed, you can do it one of 2 ways, Cheryl. You can, and this is the way I would do it, but you can read through the book just like any other book. So you can read a chapter at a time or whatever. Or each chapter is divided up into 5 sections, 5 small sections. So if you wanted to, you could take Monday through Friday, read 1 section each day for 52 weeks, and at the end of that, you will have read through the book of this book, and you would have read through 52 of the, I call them God's greatest hits. You'll read 52 of the most popular, well-read Psalms that there are.
I know that, you know, you have studied the Bible so extensively, but I know too when you write a book and you dig in, God shows you new things. I'm just curious, as you went through writing this book and that process, is there anything that God did in your life that's new and different?
Well, yes, and I'll tell you, in fact, I'll tell a story in the book. It's something that I'm always reminded of. In the first very intro of the book, I talk about the most difficult moment of my ministry of all. And it was the most pressure-packed time I've ever been through in my life. I thought I was going to be fired from a church, not because I'd done anything immorally wrong, but because I'd given strong leadership and some people didn't really like it. And you know, and for the first time I realized, you know, you can be wronged for doing what's right. And the devil really had a hold of me. I was depressed, I was discouraged, and I walked into a church meeting absolutely convinced I was going to be one of those pastors out there that lost their job. I just knew it. And this in spite of the fact I'd been there 6 months, the church had exploded in growth, God was moving in a great way, but the devil was as well. And there's a verse in the Psalms that came to my heart as I walked into that building. This I know, God is for me. And I developed a blood pressure problem. I started losing my hair. I had an elevated heart rate. And when that verse came to me, I talk about this in the book, I literally felt my blood pressure go to normal. My heart rate went back down. I was as calm as I could be. I was at perfect peace. I said, if they keep me, fine. If they fire me, fine. It doesn't matter. They're not my shepherd. God's my shepherd. They're not the ones that called me. God did. And it's because of that one incident that the whole book of Psalms, I finally came to realize that there's a reason why it's the biggest book in the Bible, is because almost everything you want to know about this great God and the relationship that we have, you'll find it in this book.
That is so beautiful, and that is why we want to get this into people's hands, because you need to get the Bible into your hearts. Even if you're not going through a hard time now, it's something that you can access that gives you the strength to get through things, just like you said when we go through it. And we're so excited to partner with you to make this available.
Well, to all of our Crossroad partners and to those who watch this ministry on a regular basis, because of the generosity of Crossroads, we would like to give you a complimentary copy of this book for whatever gift that you would like to give to the ministry. And I just want to tell you ahead of time, I hope that you will get a copy of this book. I won't change your life. I'm not going to say the book will change your life, but I will tell you this, the truth you will find in this book that comes right out of the book of Psalms will radically change your life, and we would like to send you a copy today.